Speaking of the iPhone 14 Pros, there was a little issue that was discovered, actually first noticed and reported by YouTuber Luke Miani with that new 48 megapixel wide angle camera. And that's because it has a new and updated optical image sensor in it. And it seems like some third party apps, specifically apps like Instagram or TikTok, seemed to freak out the sensor for some reason, and it would wobble and shake pretty violently. He actually put out a video, and it was so bad you could actually hear it and see it. And a lot of people were worried, hey, is that thing actually going to break? So just be aware that Apple is aware of it, and there is a patch out already. So if you get the latest iOS update, it does address that issue. So it was definitely happening. I didn't notice it on my iPhone 14 Pro. I tried a couple of third-party apps and didn't have the issue. So I don't know what actually triggers it or triggered it, but it should be resolved by the time you hear this episode. And so if you haven't updated and you have a new iPhone 14 Pro model, you probably want to grab that update just so you don't ever have to experience that, because it was pretty freaky. And I think last time we talked a little bit, I don't normally talk about specific apps on the show, but the Halide app, which is a great photography app that gives you a lot of control over your camera, a lot more controls, manual controls and things like that, more kind of professional style controls than the built-in camera app. So if you're looking for something a little more advanced, that's a great app. I know there's a lot of great photo apps out there, but the Halide one kind of leads the charge. The developers over there are really pushing the technology that Apple delivers to the limit, and that goes for the new 48 megapixel wide angle sensor that came out in the iPhone 14 Pro this year. So they just released a new version. And the only reason I'm really bringing this up was because last episode we kind of had the question, would you be able to use the 48 megapixel sensor to actually take photos at 48 megapixels in a format other than Apple Pro RAW? Apple's built-in app will only let you do it with the Pro RAW. If you want to shoot in JPEG, you're going to do the quad pixel thing, and it'll be a 12 megapixel image capture in JPEG. Well, it turns out that the Halide app, you can take 48 megapixel processed images straight to the HEIC format or JPEG format, depending upon your settings. That means you're going to get about 1/25th the size of the file, so a much smaller file at 48 megapixels versus the Pro RAW, and you'll be able to capture those images 2.5 times faster. So you're going to be able to get that good quality, but the benefit of the compression. Now, obviously, if you want the best quality, you still want to shoot the Pro RAW, but just the fact that you can do it, that was a little uncertain. Looks like you actually can, and it's out and available in the new Halide app. I'd assume a number of other Pro camera apps will also offer that kind of functionality. In addition, the new Halide app has support for Pro RAW, the ability to quickly switch from 48 megapixel to 12 megapixel capture. That's something you have to play around with Apple settings. It also has manual focus and depth capture and a bunch of other really cool, again, pro end features. So if you're looking for a cool app, that might be one that you want to check out.